Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathagami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me Nayana Pathagami Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathagami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद। गौर हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की श्रील प्रभुपाद की ताई गौर प्रेमानंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रहे। Hare Krishna, welcome you all for this morning class on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Today we will be discussing from Canto 1, Chapter 12, verse number 28. Jignasita Atma Yathartyah Mune Vyasasutat Aso Hitva Idam Nrupa Gangayam यास्यति अद्धा अकुतः भयम्। जिज्ञासितात्म याथार्थ्यो मुनेर्व्याससुतादसौ हित्वेदं नृपगङ्गायां यास्यत्यद्धा कुतो भयम्। जिज्ञासितात्म याथार्थ्यो मुनेर्व्याससुतादसौ हित्वेदं नृपगङ्गायां यास्यत्यद्धा कुतो भयम्। जिज्ञासितात्मयाथार्थ्यो मुनेर्व्याससुतादसौ हित्वेदं नृपगङ्गायां Yasyatyaddha kuto bhayam. Please recite. Mataji's. Word-to-word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jignasita, having inquired of. Atma yathartyaha, right knowledge of one's own self. Mune, from the learned philosopher. Vyasasutat, the son of Vyasa. Asau, he. Hitva, quitting. Idam, this material attachment. Nrupa, O king. Gangayam, on the bank of the Ganges. Yasyati, will go. Adha, directly. Akutaha bhayam, the life of fearlessness. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. After inquiring about proper self-knowledge from the son of Vyasadeva, who will be a great philosopher, he will renounce all material attachment and achieve a life of fearlessness. Purport. Material knowledge means ignorance of the knowledge of one's own self. Philosophy means to seek after the right knowledge of one's own self, or the knowledge of self-realization. Without self-realization, philosophy is dry speculation or a waste of time and energy. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam gives the right knowledge of one's own self by hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and by hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, one can get free from material attachment and enter into the kingdom of fearlessness. This material world is fearfulness. Its prisoners are always fearful as within a prison house. In the prison house, no one can violate the jail rules and regulations, and violating the rules means another term for extension of prison life. Similarly, we in this material existence are always fearful. This fearfulness is called anxiety. Everyone in the material life, in all species and varieties of life, is full of anxieties, either by breaking or without breaking the laws of nature. Liberation or mukti means getting relief from these constant anxieties. This is possible only when the anxiety is changed to the devotional service of the Lord. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam gives us the chance to change the quality of anxiety from matter to spirit. This is done in the association of a learned philosopher like the self-realized Sukadeva Goswami, the great son of Sri Vyasadeva. Maharaja Pariksit, after receiving warning of his death, took advantage of this opportunity by association with Sukadeva Goswami and achieved the desired result. There is a sort of imitation of this reciting and hearing of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam by professional men, and their foolish audience thinks that they will get free from the clutches of material attachment and attain a life of fearlessness. Such imitative hearing of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a caricature only, and one should not be misled by such a performance of Bhagavatam Saptaha undertaken by ridiculous, greedy fellows to maintain an establishment of material enjoyment. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratyase Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Srila Prabhupada ki So once a man, he died and he went to Yamaloka, and he met, whom he met there? Whom does one meet in Yamaloka? Yamadharmaraj. He met Yamaraj, and he asked Yamaraj, you didn't give me any notice before taking my life. How is it? You should give notice, and just like when a police arrests a criminal or any person, they give notice. They have to give notice and then they have to arrest. So then this person asked Yamaraj, you didn't give me any notice. How are you arresting me? How did you brought me here without giving me notice, without taking my permission? Then Yamaraj told him that I gave you notice many times. You did not took it seriously. So how? And Yamaraj said that when you were 50 years, your body started becoming wrinkles. You started becoming old. Then slowly, that was one notice. Then after a few years, your hair on the head was going That means you are becoming old. That was another notice. Second notice. Third notice, also I gave that you were losing eyesight. Your eyes were not functioning. Third notice I gave you. And fourth notice also I gave you, your tooth were fallen. Your tooth were fallen. And final notice also I gave you, your memory was lost, losing slowly. So many notices I gave you. How can you say that you have not given notice? And finally, because you did not took it seriously, so I have to send my men to bring you here. So the point to be noted is that in this shloka, this translation as it goes, after inquiring about proper self-knowledge from the son of Vyasadeva, who will be a great philosopher, he will renounce all material attachment and achieve a life of fearlessness. So Pariksit Maharaj, he got a death notice. What is a death notice? That in 1 week you are going to die. He got a death notice. So then what he did immediately? He surrendered on to Sukadeva Goswami and hearing Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna. So as soon as he got the death notice, he surrendered. He was a young man. He was not very old. He was a young man. And he surrendered on to the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So whereas a materialistic man, even though he is getting many notices, not one notice, many notices, but still he is thinking that I can live happily by making some adjustment. Okay, if my hair is, I'm losing my hair, it's becoming white, so I'll put color. If my skin is becoming loose, I'll do some surgery. If my eyesight is going off, I'll put glasses or eye surgeries. Tooth is getting lost, so I'll put artificial tooth. In this way, rather than analyzing on what is the root cause of these problems, the man is trying to make some adjustments, stopgap solutions. Everyone, so the death notice is given to everyone, but an intelligent person will take it seriously. Now, why we cannot? Why don't we understand these death notices? Prabhupada writes very nicely in the purport. What is this material knowledge? Material knowledge means ignorance of the self. Whatever knowledge we are gaining in this world is just about body, about matter, is nothing related to anything about soul. So how a person will think about Atma and Paramatma and the goal of life? Not so. The main thing is ignorance. If you read Bhagavad Gita also, in one purport in the 4th chapter, Prabhupada writes very clearly that what is the cause of suffering? Why we are suffering in this world? Because we are doing sinful activities. The reactions come in the form of suffering. And why we are doing sinful activities? Because we don't have knowledge. What is right? What is wrong? What is dharma? What is adharma? What is karma? What is vikarma? What is akarma? Knowledge is not there. Why there is no knowledge? Ignorance. Ignorance, ajnanata. So ignorance is the cause of suffering. So therefore one has to, Krishna says, one has to cut away this ignorance by the sword of knowledge. And then Prabhupada writes in the next line that the philosophy means knowing the self, Atma Sakshatkar. And philosophy also two philosophies. One is about Atma Sakshatkar, Atma, Paramatma, Krishna. And other is dry philosophy, where the Mayavadis, they discuss so much, which is not connected to the transcendental pastimes, activities, glories of the Lord. So even that dry philosophy will not help the soul completely. So the goal of human form of life is to develop this knowledge, spiritual knowledge, by which he can come out of this ignorance. Like if we help a person in a materialistic way, like you give him some food, some clothes, some shelter, so, but again he needs that. Again he will be dependent on you. But if he gets knowledge, then all his problems are solved once for all. Then Prabhupada writes, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam gives the knowledge of the self. It gives the knowledge of the self. Of course, Bhagavad Gita, the preliminary knowledge of soul we understand from Bhagavad Gita. But in Bhagavatam also we can see how practically this knowledge of soul was applied. You can see in the pastime of Chitraketu Maharaj. Chitraketu Maharaj, after he has millions and millions of wives, but no children. And then finally, by mercy of Narad Muni and Angira Muni, he gets one child, one son. And before leaving, they tell the name of this boy is Harsha Shok. Harsha means happiness, Shoka means lamentation. So the boy's name will be Harsha Shok. Then they go away, and he did not understand what is the deep meaning of this name, why they gave, because he is so much happy, Chitraketu, having got son after so many years. So then the other wives, they become very envious and they give poison to this boy, because the king is showing so much love for this wife who got the child. So other wives, they became envious and gave poison, killed this child. And then Chitraketu was crying like anything, lamenting. So then comes again Narad Muni and Angira Muni. Then by the spiritual potency of Narad Muni, he brings back that soul into that body. And then the person, that soul, once it comes back to that body of a child, he speaks very great philosophy. But my parents, no, you are not my parents. I am eternal soul. I keep traveling one body after another body. So in this way, and also Bhagavatam has so many nice stories of reincarnation, like Bharat Maharaj, like Bharat Maharaj. And what other stories we have? The transmigration of the soul. Narad Muni, previous life he was a boy, and Gajendra. In the Gajendra Moksha, who was he in the previous life? Indradimna Maharaj. So then he becomes Gajendra by the curse of the Agastya Muni. So in this way, Bhagavatam, and practically, like Bhagavad Gita tells about the soul, but Bhagavatam practically gives examples of how the soul is transmigrating from one body to another. And then Prabhupada writes, hearing Bhagavatam makes one free from material attachment, and it enables him to go to the world of fearlessness, which is Vaikuntha. So there is one verse in Bhagavatam which says that by hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, bhaktirutpadyate pumsaha shokamoha bhayapaha. Anyone who hears Bhagavatam, bhakti is developed in the heart. Bhakti is developed, and he will become free from shoka, moha and bhaya. How these three words are connected, I will tell you. Shoka, moha and bhaya. That means hankering, lamentation, and hankering, fear and lamentation. Now in this world, everyone is hankering for some material object, right? One object, even they achieve one object, they keep hankering after another object. And it is never fulfilled. Just like lust, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, it is never fulfilled. Avritam jnanametena, jnanino nityavairina, kamarupena kaunteya, dushpurena analena cha. This is, lust is something which it can never be satisfied. The sense gratification. So everyone is after material sense gratification. They want material object. So the whole life goes in hankering. I want this, I want this, I want this. And when they get that, then what happens? Then there is fear. What is the fear? I may lose it. I may lose it. And by some chance, if the object is lost, then there is lamentation. Oh, I lost it. So this is how the material loss works. Person who is in ignorance, he will just cry because he is attached to it. And in the shloka also we can see how Pariksit Maharaj, as soon as he heard that he is going to die in 7 days, immediately he gave up the material attachment. That means he gave up his family or kingdom, post, position, servants, etc. He gave up it and surrendered to Sukadeva Goswami. So the material hankering, fear and lamentation. So those who hear Bhagavatam, that means they will hear the story of Pariksit Maharaj, how he gave up. They will hear the story of Bharat Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj. All these stories, when they hear these pastimes, then they will get free from the material attachment and they will go back to Godhead. And then Prabhupada very nicely writes about anxiety. 2 things Prabhupada highlights here. One is fearlessness, fearless and fearful, that is one thing. And second thing is anxiety. Now Prabhupada says that yes, anxiety is natural, but that anxiety has to be there it has to be shifted from matter to spirit. Like one time in Vrindavan, when the temple construction was happening, so Prabhupada said to his disciples, in India people cheat a lot. So you be here, when the truck comes with the cement bags, you should be here and count each and every cement bag. Now, how is counting cement bag is related to pure devotional service? How it is connected? Yes, it is connected because that cement bag goes for making some bricks, some walls for the temple of the Lord. So that is how it is connected. So everything comes from Krishna. So everything is connected to Krishna. You cannot separate even a pin from Krishna. Even a pin is used for decorating of the Lord, putting flower. So anything, any matter, you cannot separate from Krishna. So the real Krishna conscious person is the one who sees Krishna everywhere. Who sees Krishna everywhere. That is the perfection of realization. Fully Krishna conscious person. Prabhupada could see that. Prabhupada could do that because he is on that platform of pure Krishna consciousness. So anxiety, all are in anxiety. Prabhupada says all are in anxiety either by breaking or not breaking the laws of nature. Now, those who break the laws of nature, certainly they will be in anxiety. What are the laws of nature? What are the laws of nature? Every action has reaction. There are 3 modes of the material nature, Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun. Breaking the regulative principles or committing some sinful activities, aparad. This is the law, breaking the laws of nature. So certainly they will suffer for that. And even though Prabhupada is saying either by not, okay. But still he will be in anxiety if he doesn't have spiritual knowledge, if he doesn't take to Krishna. And I'm telling in terms of material anxiety. He is nice, decent person, but his anxiety is there about his family, what will happen to my family. Anxiety is there. What will happen to me? If I go, who will take care of my family? That anxiety is there or not? Even though he may not be doing sinful activity. You're getting? Even though he's not breaking the laws of nature, but still he is in anxiety. So therefore one has to take to spiritual knowledge. Once upon a time, once a man, he was having wife, and wife was pregnant and about to deliver. And wife delivered the child, but the wife died. In the olden days, it used to be like that, no operations, no surgeries. So she died. Then he was thinking what to do now. Who will take care of the child? So then when he was thinking like that, he saw one lizard fell from the roof. One baby lizard. One big lizard gave birth to a small lizard and it fell. As soon as the small lizard fell on the floor, immediately it started finding its food. Then he got such a realization that everyone in this world is maintained by the Lord. You see, it's such a small lizard, it fell down and it started finding its own food and living. Then he got this realization that everyone, Krishna, God takes care of everyone, everyone's quota is already there in this world. Then he left. He left the boy there only and he went. This story I heard long back when I was in college. One devotee told. He told to inspire us in a full-time, to become a full-time devotee. That how everyone, God takes care of everyone. Like you see, there are so many plants, trees on the mountains, who is giving water to them? Is a municipality gives water to them? No. There are so many trees on the road, on the mountain. Who takes care of them? Nature, God takes care. Even to them, water is provided by God. So, it is just an artificial anxiety that, okay, we think that we are maintaining it. Without me, what will happen? Nothing will happen. The world continues even without us also. The world will continue. There is one story of a great king called Khatwanga. In the Bhagavatam it comes, 9th canto. So this Khatwanga Rishi, King Khatwanga, he was fighting on behalf of demigods against the demons. And he was vigorously fighting and he became very tired. He wanted to take a break. So then he asked one question to the... I'm telling other thing. So he fought very vigorously on behalf of demigods against the demons, and the demigods became victorious. And the demigods asked him that, we are very happy with you. You ask some boon from us. We will fulfill it. So Khatwanga said, I want to know how much life is remaining. How many days are remaining for me? When is my death? So then they told him, just 1 minute. A moment is remaining. Just a moment is remaining. Then as soon as he heard that, he came down to the earthly planet and started performing devotional service and went back to Godhead. Just in 1 moment. As soon as he understood that, he is going to leave a body in a moment. Prabhupada writes about this in the Bhagavad Gita. You can open 2.72. In the 2.72, you can see the purport. Prabhupada writes, one can attain Krishna consciousness or divine life at once. Like yesterday, Bhavamaya Prabhu was asking, now how many lives it may take to go one to back to Godhead? How many lifetimes it may take? Pariksit Maharaj just went in one life. So one can attain Krishna consciousness or divine life at once within a second. Or one may not attain such a state of life even after millions of births. It is only a matter of understanding and accepting the fact. What is the fact? The fact is that we belong to Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We belong to Krishna. We are meant to serve Krishna. Maharaj attained this state of life just a few minutes before his death by surrendering onto Krishna. Nirvana means the ending the process of materialistic life. So it will just take 1 second also. No? Even in one interview, Prabhupada said, when someone asked, how long it will take to surrender to Krishna. What Prabhupada said? 1 moment. 1 moment it takes to surrender to Krishna. But but how? But to get that 1 moment is something important. If he realizes that the goal of life is just 1 moment. How long? Just 1 moment. So, now in this world, naturally, these anarthas, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, because we are living in this world from millions and millions and millions of lifetimes. So, naturally, they come in our heart. So here, as Prabhupada is saying about fear, now when a person is in materialistic consciousness, his fear is of losing something. But how the fear is related to spiritualist sadhakas? What is the fear for the sadhakas? What is the fear for the sadhakas? Huh? Sorry? We may forget Krishna. We may get off track by Maya. Sorry?
Ostracized, Prabhuji.
What is ostracizing?
Nikal dena.
Acha, they may remove me. Like that you are saying? The real fear of a real devotee will be that I may go away from devotee association. So he always prays to the Lord, my Lord, please always keep me in devotee association. What will be the fear of a artificial or imitation devotee? Because Prabhupada writes here about imitation also. What could be the fear of an imitation devotee? Yeah, they may take away my position. They may take away, or whatever I have achieved, they may give that credit to someone else. What else could be the fear of an imitation devotee? Or someone who is not completely pure, still practicing, we can say. No, that is not exactly fear. Fear is something more serious. Yeah, if I do so much book distribution, what will happen to my health? I have to go on the sun, pollution, so much I have to. So, when a person is not fully Krishna conscious, his consciousness will be, what will happen to me? Even though he is practicing. So I think his consciousness will be, what will happen to me? What will happen to me? But in Vrindavan, the consciousness is different. When a fire occurs in Vrindavan, the people, Brajvasis, they don't think of, what will happen to me? What happens to Krishna? How is Krishna? Understand? When some problem comes, their consciousness is, their thought is, oh, is Krishna safe? Is Krishna all right? That is the consciousness of Rajavasis. So this is the parameter to check. Where is our fear? Is our fear in losing something we achieved or something we got? Or is our fear is that, how about Krishna? So then that person actually becomes fearless. When we are fearful, what will happen to Krishna? What will happen to this moment? What will happen to this, Lord Chaitanya Sankirtan moment? When we are fearful to that, then that is actually a fearlessness, that God gives him fearlessness to become more and more strong and preach Krishna consciousness. That is the anxiety. That's what Prabhupada is writing here. You have to shift that anxiety from matter to spirit. Anxiety is there, and Prabhupada also write, what is that fearlessness? Material world means fearfulness, and fearfulness means anxiety. You can see that Prabhupada writes here. And all are in anxiety, either by breaking or not breaking the laws of nature. So that is a real anxiety, that is a real fearlessness. Once, Shankaracharya, he was traveling in the forest and a few dacoits were trying to attack him. So he remembered Lord Narasimha, and at the instant he composed a beautiful prayers to Lord Narasimha, asking Lord Narasimha to give him protection. So, as it is said, even a person has a material desire or a material fear, whatever, he should come to Krishna, he should not go to a demigod. So, even as a practicing sadhaka, if we have fear, and if that fear is something reasonable, because there could be many types of anxieties, not just fear but anxiety. There could be many types of anxiety in our life. It could be personal, it could be interpersonal, or it could be something related to some work, some activity, some seva that you are doing, anything. Like many times in Govindas, whenever I go down, I always have this anxiety. There are so many cylinders, there are so many electronic equipments. Like recently there was one fridge, there was fire coming. So it's anxiety, what will happen, what will happen, what will happen. So it's always anxiety. Material world is full of anxiety. So I think, okay, God is there, He will take care of. So then, see, this kind of anxieties will be there. So, the very nice prayer what Shankaracharya has written. So we can sometimes we can sing that prayers. I'll just tell some meanings of that. This is called Sri Lakshmi Narasimha Karavalamba Stotram. Śrīmad-Payonidhi-Niketana Chakrapane Bhogindra Bhogamaniranjita Punyamurte Yogisha Shashvata Sharanya Bhavabdhipota Lakshmi Nrisimha Mama Dehi Karavalambam. He says, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Sri Lakshmi Narasimha, who lives in the ocean of milk, who holds the holy wheel as weapon, who wears the gems of the head of Adishesha as ornaments, who has the form of good and holy deeds, who is the permanent protection of sages, and who is the boat which helps us cross this ocean of misery called life, please give me the protection of your hands. Just like Narasimha he protected Prahlad Maharaj from Hiranyakashipu. And not only that, not only in the end, every time whenever Hiranyakashipu tried to kill Prahlad Maharaj, either putting in the pit of poisonous snakes or trying to trample under the legs of the elephant or throwing from the top of the hill or putting him in the oil, frying oil, fire, snakes he had done. So all the time, and finally he gave poison also. But still, he could not kill Prahlad Maharaj. He was always saved by the Lord. Brahmendra Rudra Arka Kirita Koti Sangathitandri Kamala Malakanti Kanta Lakshmi Lasatkucha Saroruha Rajahamsa Lakshmi Nasimha Mamadehi Karavalambam. Your feet is touched by the crowns of Brahma, Indra, Shiva, Sun. This also we can quote sometimes how demigods also worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Brahma also worships. Brahma is offering pranam to Vishnu here. And who is the royal swan playing? Please give me protection of your hands. So in this way, there are many prayers like that. You can, whenever you get some time, you can read it. That we can ask, we beg the Lord to give us protection from all the evil effects, ill effects, and protect us from Maya, illusory energy, and always keep us at His lotus feet in the shelter of His pure devotees, and always serve Him. Then that is real anxiety. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Granthraj, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, yeah. How one can get the shelter of lotus feet of the Lord? So, we are not qualified directly to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are not pure. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Gopi Bhart Padakamalayur Dasa Dasa Anudas. Gopi Bharti Padakamalayur Dasa Dasa Anudas. Even Kulashekar Alvar says, Mad Janmana Phalamidam Madukaitabare Mad Prathaniya Madanukraha Etsha Eva Tad Bhritya Bhritya Paricharaka Bhritya Bhritya Bhrityasya Bhritya Itimam Smaralokanada. I want to become servant of the servant of servant of servant of servant of the Lord. So, the servant of the Lord is serving the lotus feet of the Lord. His servant will serve him. The next servant will serve him. That is the Guru Shishya Parampara. So in that way, one has to get connected to Parampara, serve the Guru Parampara, Acharyas, devotees. That is how you get the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. हाँ बोलिए. माइक में बोलो.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. जो कटवांग मुनि थे वो जैसे स्वर्गलोक में
कटवांग किंग राजा,
हाँ, तो वो स्वर्गलोक में जब युद्ध करने के लिए गए थे तो उनको पता चला कि उनका सिर्फ एक क्षण भर है, उनको जब उनका अंतिम समय होने वाला है, तो उस समय में कैसे मतलब पृथ्वी में आके उन्होंने शरणागत हुए, मतलब इसका
उस समय
मतलब आके कैसे शरणागत हुए वो थोड़ा बताइए.
क्या बोले उस समय?
जी इज आस्किंग कि उनको एक क्षण मिला था विच इज वेरी शॉर्ट, तो वो पृथ्वी पे
6 months in the earthly planet is half day in the heavenly planet. तो वहाँ पे 1 moment means here few days, no? At least few minutes, at least Prabhupada says. So in that one moment he came down and immediately he did tapas. In the earth and higher planets, the time runs in a different scale. It's a different scale, that's it. Here many years pass, but there it is only few hours. So he understood that he got just one moment remaining. So he came down and immediately did pure devotional service, remembered the Lord and went back to God. Okay? Granthraj Srimad-Bhāgavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.